Hey guys, my name is Quinn. Welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, hey, glad to have you. 16 million views, yeah, you read it right. I can't believe it. Anyhow, I'm a little under the weather, so my voice is gonna be up and down. Don't mind it. Okay, alright, let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is build up this wheel with a 2-part epoxy clay. It's a strong clay, but the drawback is that you have to really work in different rounds because the epoxy clay is very hard to shape at first, so you have to wait for it to harden. And after that, you're going to build up some more and then shape it some more, sand it, wait for it to cure again, and then repeat the cycle until you get something that you're looking for. So I've got the pieces of his workstation pre-built using popsicle sticks and wooden blocks. And this is like one of the first things I want to build because it's going to give me the scale of everything else, including KAMAJI himself. I sourced these glass jars over Amazon, just filled them up with random things, and I will sculpt that cork top to look like what it does in the movie. I'm using brackets instead of just gluing these pieces together because they give me an option of removing anything, to fix something, or to just reach something, so that's very handy. Okay, so now that everything looks good and attached, we're going to go ahead and sculpt KAMAJI. For the armature for his legs, I just use armature wire and aluminum foil along with epoxy clay. The reference photos are your friends, guys, so have a bunch on hand. Here I am checking the side view because that's the most important view and making sure that everything looks correct. So for his upper body and arms, I'm going to use a lightweight clay because I don't want to put any extra resistance on the motor. I'm using Premier Stone clay, and it's an air dry clay, super lightweight. Putting little arm divots in there just because the ball joint will glide easier that way. I'm going to hollow him out for 2 reasons. It's going to make him more lightweight. Also, that's where we're going to string our arms through. Save your clay because you know what? Material isn't cheap, guys. He's filling in the gaps after gluing his halves together. I'm going to build his arm or sculpt his arm in 2 different sections. Obviously the bicep or the upper arm along with his forearm so that we can get a joint going at the elbow. And you do not need to bake this clay, I'm just impatient. Okay, you can see the joint is very simple. All you need now is a drilled hole and a metal wire, and you are good to go. I do build up the arm a little bit more so it looks more arm-like, but I just needed to make sure that joint works first. Okay, we're drilling our holes for our elastic string that's going to go across. We're going to attach our 2 arms to the same string. Pull it very taut so the arms aren't just like dangling. You want that arm attached. And the string allows them to move independently of each other even though they're on the same line. Again, pulling very taut. That's very important. The arms did end up being super long for my application, so I just, saw them off and glue them back together. This air dry clay was very easy to glue back together, so that wasn't a problem at all. For the hands, I use cosplay, which is a flexible polymer clay, but in the end, I kind of regret not using just regular super sculpey, which is Another polymer clay, but it's rigid, the same type that I used for his legs. But you know what? I made it work. It was fine, but yeah, I kind of calculated wrong, and that happens. Now that we got his upper body done, I can finally attach it to his legs. The most important thing right here is the angle of his body when you're attaching it, because he's sitting a certain way, his arms are reaching out a certain way, his head is at a certain angle, so you got to make sure that that angle is correct. So I'm going to get this first gear and mechanism out of the way because it's actually in the way of the platform that KAMAJI is sitting on. You can see me attaching the driving gear, which is the motor that drives all the other gears. I've just attached that gear to the shaft of the motor and then glue that entire thing down to the wood. I'm using super glue because as much as it is very strong, it is also very brittle, so you can revise it if you need to. Great, so now that that is done and spinning beautifully, I will do the rest of the workstation. I am making all the cubbies in the back. It's a faux front because who has the time? But I also want to make it realistic, so there's going to be two parts, the back part and the front part where the fake cubbies are going to be. I made a template to make my life easier. This was pretty tedious, but at the same time soothing. I'm painting the back side here because I won't be able to reach it once everything's glued down. So now I have all my pieces built. I can put everything on the platform. This way I know where to cut the hole for the wiring. Okay, now let's finish off all the mechanisms. This next gear is going to power the handle that he's going to be rocking back and forth in the front. We're just going to add another gear underneath the driving gear and build this little thingamajiggy that I didn't show on video because honestly I am flying by the seat of my pants, guys. I don't know if things are gonna work, and by the time I build something and wondering if it's gonna work, it works, so then I have it and nothing filmed for it. So that mechanism will translate that round circular movement into this back and forth movement. My next mechanism will be for the pestle, is it called, or the grinder, that where he's grinding his spices and whatnot. So I got to build up that little grinder thingy with the pestle, is it called? Oh, why don't I know this word, pestle? Yeah, I'm gonna stick with pestle. That metal little rod is going to just part of the mechanism that I can stick it to this wood piece that I've stuck to the last mechanism, which I end up changing because I didn't want those two mechanisms to look similar. You see, that's boring. It's doing the same thing at the same time at the same rate. But anyhow, so now I'm going to add another gear, another shaft to the mechanism, the whole thing, so that I can build the fourth and fifth mechanism on. This part will be for the arm. A little shaft that I glue. That way I can attach a string to the arm and a string to that shaft. And as it goes up and down, it'll move the arm. Finally, working on the last mechanism here. First things first, drill a hole into the cubby, add that cubby, add that last cubby. So that's the shaft. I'm gonna push that through. There we go. And then this is my gear for my last mechanism for his arm and the cubby. I ended up revising how I attach that. It's basically another shaft that I'm trying to aim where it's actually moving, gluing it down, making sure that shaft doesn't fall backwards, and it doesn't. And then that's the final attachment and the final mechanism. There you have it, an up and down movement for the arm that's reaching in for the herbs and whatnot. So I'm just revising the whole thing, and that goes to show that you can do it in so many different configurations. This is when I decided to make the, grinder thing different from the shaft that's moving out there, because is it called the shaft or stick? I keep on saying shaft. But you see how it moves now opposite of each other and looks so much better. It's more interesting that way. Adding a switch for all my mechanics here, or my electronics. And then, all right, we're down to the final countdown. Painting it, or I should say I'm staining it. I'm using acrylic paint, watering it down. So we got that nice realistic stain. You can use a real stain if you want, but why spend more money when you've got acrylic paint sitting right next to you? And I'm very aggressive painting this back piece. I think I'm just like, this project has been so much work. Let's just try to finish this up as fast as possible at this point. This is only the first layer. I do about 2 more layers. Okay, now we're painting the metal parts, and when we do metallics, we do black underneath to bring out the metallics. I mean, you can do white too, but it's going to have a different look. Same thing with this pestle, the grinder. And then I just got this at like the Dollar Tree. I don't know if you guys have the Dollar Tree, but or go to the dollar store. Got these little tiny things, and just getting these are the plants around my house that I neglect, so they become free material. This is the only part that's not really loyal to the movie because it's much bigger, but that's such a shallow cubby because they're faux that I had to find something a little bit smaller. Okay, I sewed this, or I should say I glued it with fabric glue, but it works, right guys? A little pillow that I made out of like a little purple t-shirt. There's my screw. I'm struggling a bit. It does go through eventually. And then the last details of this piece. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling great by this time. And there you have it, kids. What do you think? Not too difficult, right? When you kind of see it step by step. I didn't really show you the little, what do they call that? The thing that he's holding on to and pulling down. I have no idea at this point. Well, those little red things, yeah, that's just clay and more. The one that he's actually pulling on has like an elastic on top so that he can actually pull it. More elastic string. Just a thinner one. You kind of can see where I glued it. Ignore that part. But yeah, did you like this? Because if you did, I don't need to remind you to, hit the like button, because you will, because when you do that, YouTube will show you more videos like this or more of my videos. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. And guess what? Jesus loves you, and I love you. Have a good one. Until next time, bye.